What's up, YouTube? Poor Man Podcast back with another video. Today's video is going to be ex star tells us why it ruined her life and why she regrets. All right, guys, I have been getting demonetized like crazy on this platform. Okay, so I am going to be posting more on my Patreon. Any videos that can't be posted on YouTube will go straight to Patreon. Also, I am going to start doing live streams every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Central. After they're streamed live on YouTube, they will be taken right off of YouTube and go straight to Patreon. So if you miss any of those live streams, the only way you'll access them is through Patreon. But let's get into the video. I don't want to take up too much of y'all time. I just got to tell y'all that I'm going to start transitioning a lot of my content over to Patreon because of I just can't deal with the demonetization and and YouTube trying not to allow us to say certain things. But let's get to the video.
Rolling.
I was 24 years old when I entered. I was a burned out prostitute and stripper. I was a single mom, addicted to drugs and alcohol. I was the kind of person that the porn industry preys upon. The porn industry preys upon people who are already damaged so they can damage them more. And I was that girl. They promised me fame, fortune, attention. They promised me I would be the next biggest, hottest porn star. And they promised me that I would be kept safe. That porn people are the cleanest people in the world. And that if we get our tests every 30 days for HIV, then I'll be kept safe. Are you sure? Of course, baby. Of course we're sure. You'll be safe. Well, after about 30 movies, I got burned. And I caught 2 sexually transmitted diseases. One of those diseases was HPV, human papillomavirus, which I had never heard of. And another was a non-curable disease, herpes. Catching herpes back in the 90s was like catching HIV. I mean, your life is over.
And before she goes too far, I want to say this. People don't understand just how rampant STDs are in the adult film industry. About 65% of women in the adult film industry has herpes. Your chances of getting chlamydia goes up by it's 10 times the normal person from the age 20 to 24. Okay, and your chances of getting chlamydia and gonorrhea is also about 10 to 12 times more than a normal person that's between the age 20 and 24. So there's a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't see underground that goes on. Also, I'm always a little bit annoyed of the fact that a lot of the women like to say the industry forced this upon them, or tried to say that the industry preyed upon them. When you're 18 years old and you get that letter, and all guys know, you get that letter from the U.S. Army or from the Armed Forces saying that you are registered for the draft. Okay, we understand that if at 18 men can go and be registered to put their lives on the line, worst case scenario, of course, but nonetheless still put their lives on the line, you should be old enough to understand that an industry doesn't care about you as a woman. All right, so to say that they're preying upon you, they're not preying upon you. They're offering you an opportunity, and because the opportunity didn't give you exactly what you thought it would give you, you act like you're a victim and you weren't a conscious human being that made their own decision now as an adult. Okay, so it's always the self-accountability part that you got to pay attention to. Because people who truly regret these situations, they will hold themselves accountable. They don't have to try to blame their decisions on an industry or on... You signed the contract knowing what was in the contract, regardless, right? So whether you did that consciously or unconsciously, that's going to be your decision. And unfortunately, decisions have consequences, good or bad. So let's continue the video.
You were going to be forever stuck with this disease. And it devastated me. And I tried to kill myself with prescription pills. I didn't care anymore. I had herpes on my mouth, my lips, my throat, my vagina, my anus, everywhere. I was a monster. How far I had come. I joined the porn industry, and I was promised glamour and fame and fortune. And here I am standing in the worst human ugliness you could possibly see in the mirror. And I was devastated. And I thought my life was over. Like many of the porn stars who catch non-curable diseases. STDs are rampant in the porn industry. And what's horrible is these people don't understand that even repeat infections are breaking down their immune system. After they have so many STDs, sooner or later they're going to live with the long-term health effects like I am. I'm 43 years old now. And I still have problems with my period, with my cervix. I had to have half of my cervix removed because of all of the herpes lesions. And I couldn't have babies after that. Praise God, by the grace of God, that I have children. I'm blessed. But I did lose 4 children because of the damage to my sexual organs. The porn industry does nothing more than damage lives. It damages the lives of the workers. It damages the lives of the general public. It damages the lives of the men who are viewing pornography, who are addicted to porn. These same people who are addicted to porn, they're making demands on the girls. Porn addicts go, well, I only watch a little straight porn. And then a couple of years into it, the disease progresses. Porn is a disease, not just for the workers, but for the porn addicts. And they make demands on these girls. And thus the porn industry goes, listen, this is what the porn viewers want. They want to see you get banged by 12 black guys. They want to see you do DP. They want to see you do bukkakis. They want to see you be degraded, called names like They want to see that. That's what makes the money. And these girls are like, what other option do they have? Who cares about these women in porn? Nobody. But we do. Pink Cross is the first organization that's ever been created to specifically help these women in porn who are in very severe sex trafficking situations. These girls need our help. These girls need our love. I hope that you will seriously consider giving to Pink Cross and help us reach these women. Thanks for caring.
And I do have to say, shout out to her for actually, trying to make a difference for up and coming future women that may have that may decide to go down this road and regret it later on, and other women that may be on the verge to going down this road and may have seen this video and decided not to do it. So anytime women come out and they admit their mistakes and they try to do better by putting out content that says the negative effects of a lot of some of the things they did, I gotta give some salute to it, because so many times do you see women going through all these promiscuous phases and then trying to act as though they never regretted anything and there was no problems, and a lot of times it's not true. And this is when I talk about a little bit about that crime and punishment thing, that a lot of times the punishment isn't necessarily a sentence. Okay, because this isn't against the law, so it's completely legal. But the punishment isn't always you're going to jail for 2 years or 10 years or 5 years, whatever it may be. Sometimes the punishment is now you have to live with the decision you made. Now you have to live with this STD because you decided to go out there and be promiscuous and take that route. That's what you decided to do, regardless of if you decided because you was promised glamour or not. And a lot of times you see that. You see a lot of women, they regret it because the promise that they were, that the vision that was sold to them, they got sold a dream pretty much. And you see that a lot of times with celebrities too. A lot of women that mess with these celebrities, they go and mess with when you get invited to a celebrity house at 2 a.m., y'all ain't going to recite Bible verses. All right. And because they know that, let's just be completely honest, they know they'll go anyway because they think that this is going to get them to the next level. And sometimes when they realize it doesn't get them what they expected out of it, they get upset and they get resentful. So that happens a lot of the times. But again, it's all crime and punishment. All right. Sometimes you got to live with the decisions you make. We all do. That's why I always try to tell people to stay inside their moral compass and do things that they can feel good about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do things you can look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day, because when you're 70, 80 years old, that's what you're going to have to live with. You're going to have to live with all of those decisions. There was a woman, and And this is just another effect of maybe a part of the punishment side. There was a young lady, she's 22, she was 22 years old, just very recently, I believe yesterday or 2 days ago. She was an OnlyFans girl. She threw herself off of like an 8-story building or a 22-story building. It was something like that. A very tall building where you got a long time to think on the way down. She threw herself off of one of those because she said she wanted to have a family, but that was something she felt like would be impossible now. Crime and punishment. Till next time.